I wanted to be there. I thought I knew everything, but like I was saying, God, He's like, I want you to enjoy your youthfulness. I want you to enjoy being young. I want you to enjoy being, who I've called you to be, and the youthfulness that I've called you in. You can't be a baby and then I'll expect to be 50 altogether in one day. That doesn't happen. There's a process you need to go through. But that's what God says, call it all joy. Be excited about it. Be excited for the journey that God brings you forward in. And, this is all in Ecclesiastes 11, and what I just read was 7 through 10. So it is very, very, very important to understand that just because God says to enjoy ourselves doesn't altogether mean that we can do whatever the heck we want. And that's where we need to understand and be centered down more and realize that God has us where He wants us for a reason, and that we cannot be doing whatever we want because that's what we think it feels good, or that's what we don't think God's going to have a problem with. Because even the person with the best intentions and the best things to do for other people, it might not be for them to do because God never told you to do that in the first place. And I've been there before. God, I want to save this person. God, I want to talk to this person. God, I want to do this. I want to go out and help the homeless. I want to do that. God's like, I've never called you to do that. You're going to get beaten down in the ground, and you're not going to have the tools enough to do that right away. And I would have to listen to Him and realize that not everybody is for you to have a place in somebody else's life. It's not. Yes, good intentions, but good intentions can go bad if God's not in it completely 100%. So there has to be some wisdom with that. Not just anything goes. Whether you're a parent or not, you're going to understand the concept of wanting to learn a child, wanting to teach a child in the way they should go. Like, what if that kid goes bad or good? That mom and that dad are meant to show boundaries on, yes, this is a good place to be. Yes, you should do that. No, you really should not be doing that. There are boundaries, and I believe that's where God has us too. God shows us boundaries, and He shows us wisdom enough to say, this is what you should be doing, this is what you shouldn't be doing, because that's not where I am in your life right now. And it's the same thing. And youth doesn't always mean young. It means, like, if we're born again, so if somebody comes and be born again and say, Jesus, come into my heart, they start off as a brand new Christian. And God was showing me that in there is that youth time in order to mature and to be a mature adult in God. That is that youth time that says, okay, God, mold me and shape me, make me who you want me to be. Whether you're 25 or you're 75, there's still that youth time that God says, you're not going to know me altogether all at one time, because your mind would go ballistic, and it would be so much before you can handle it. But if you would just learn me, and let me teach you, then that's where I will be. Don't expect just because you're 75 that you're going to know it all together, because that's what the world says as you being an older person. Now for me, I know when I get a hold of something, I want to know all of it, and I don't like reading instructions at all. Like, when I get something really new, when I get something that I want to play with, even Legos or anything, when I was a little kid and I saw the Legos on the box, and I wanted to do the Legos on that box, I wouldn't read the instructions. And you're like, dude, I just want to put this block here and this block there, and I was there hours trying to figure out what the heck that box was going to look like, and nothing that I did was what the box looked like, ever. And I was like, okay, this isn't really working, until I actually finally surrendered what I wanted to do. Okay, I'll read the instructions. I don't want to read the instructions, but I'll read the instructions. I'll look at the picture. I'll look at the step-by-step picture that this thing wants me to do, and then I'll do it that way. And oh my gosh, look at that. And it was a whole lot easier, and it looked like the box. Mostly. So anything like that, God wants it to be simple for us. He doesn't want us to be so stressed out that the last thing we want to do is throw the Bible out the window and never ever go back to it ever again. That's not what He has meant for us. So there are boundaries that He puts to keep us safe. And whether it be when a kid does something wrong, they go into some type of punishment. At least any good parent would. I know I would when I get kids, that I would put my child into some type of punishment. And I believe we need to all put ourselves in timeout sometimes. I know that sounds bad, that sounds crazy, but our little timeout needs to be, okay, God, I did this, now please tell me what else to do. I know you're really not happy with me right now. However, I'm going to take myself out of it and give it to you and let you know how bad I feel about it. And there comes trust with God, saying, okay, I might not know everything that I did and why I did it or how I did it, but God, I'm just going to totally give that up to you, and I'm just going to pray that I don't do it again. God, forgive me. And if you start out there, and if you start out with a humbleness before God, instead of yeah, I did it, what else are you going to do, God? What are you going to do with me? What are you going to do to me? And then that shows ignorance and rebellion that God can't work with right there. He can't. So we need to put ourselves in a timeout. And I wrote a little prayer when I was actually writing the sermon. It says, God, please, I need your help. Please help me out. Help me not to do stupid things that keep me away from you. Help me, guide me, nurture me back to life, and keep me on the straight and narrow, for that is where true life is. Please keep me strong in the midst of struggles or temptations that are in my way all day, every day. Please, God, help me use wisdom in all your ways. Your ways are not my ways. I just want to thank you for all you have brought me through. Even though the enemy may want me to think I'm a failure, I know by your grace I am healed, forgiven, and made new again.